What you doing? I'm the AC and this is Alcohol and Anime! So, for this episode of Alcohol and Anime, it's a special one. First off, I have a guest. That makes it the special one.
Yay!
I have Ayessa with me again. And not only...
It's me!
Not only is it the second time you were on here, but we're in person.
Wow.
Unlike last time where it was over internet, even though we're dating, we still, oh well, we're together this time. Anyways, so we watched. Originally, I was just going to watch, and then she joined me. Kaguya-sama, Love is War, the first kiss that never ends, which you probably realized either by my thumbnail or the title. Wait, no, my titles are usually dumb and don't include the name of the film. Maybe the description. Somewhere you probably figured out what we watched. And we'll, of course, get into the film and what it was about and us watching it. There's a little bit of story, but how we watched it. Because originally it was going to be me being lonely, and then I had company, finally. I'll get more on that later. But this is Alcohol and Anime, so we're going to start with first, of course, the alcohol part. I have at least an explanation for what I'm drinking, so I'm going to let you go first. What are you
Me?
drinking right now?
How do you say it? It's one of the
Oh,
Seagram's
Yeah,
Escape.
Seagram's.
And it's said, the one I'm drinking specifically is Jamaican Me Happy.
Oh,
Because,
cute.
number one, the drink is actually pink.
Oh, it is
And
pink.
So,
My drink. Oh,
that's
it
love
was
right
pink.
there. Also, just the name in general, that's it.
It's the name.
Enough said.
Also, it's because that's what we have here.
Yeah, that's
'Cause
also.
we
I'm
haven't
lazy.
got anything. Yeah, I'm lazy too, kind of. I did prepare a little bit for this, so I'm drinking a little bit of preparation, not that much. All it is soju and a yogurt drink, bubbly yogurt drink or sparkling, carbonated, fizzy yogurt drink, as opposed to the ones that are not carbonated.
It's the probiotic yogurt
What?
drink.
Is it probiotic?
Yeah.
These?
Yeah.
I know
The
the other
drink
ones.
came to be because of the little small yogurt drink.
Yeah, this is the big one.
Yeah, and then they were like, "Hey, people are drinking like more than one of these, so let's just make a
it
bigger drink."
one. And the reason I'm drinking this specifically, we already had the soju. I just went ahead and got another one of the yogurt drinks, even though we do have more of the little ones. I wanted the fizzy one, but it's because this is like a rom-com, and I was like, what's a drink? And I think, what's my first drink going to be? Something red. I don't remember. I was going to originally get like a peppermint something. Because I like peppermint and like war. Peppermint a lot of times is like red and white. And I was like, the red is blood because war. And also because I like
Christmas.
Oh yeah, the movie's Christmas. The movie is Christmas Day. That's the part I was trying to remember about.
It's Christmas time.
It's Christmas time, and peppermint is a big holiday flavor, candy canes and whatnot. But it's not Christmas when we watch this. It's the end of April, and the movie also came out on Valentine's Day. But I'll get into that again later. But I eventually chose this one because also it's a drink we drink every so often whenever we want to have like, hey, let's just have a night of drinking. Sometimes we'll do this, mix in a little
I like
Sapporo.
I like to do the grapefruit
Oh yeah.
soju,
Mhm.
but this one's just the plain one. I'm a fruity kind of gal.
Yeah. Also because it has less alcohol, so that's why I like to give you that one.
What?
Yeah. So we don't get too carried away. But yeah, I was like, oh, this one rom-com. Didn't expect you to watch it with me, but it fits too. But I kind of tricked you, not really tricked, because I made the drink. You took sip right before I was about to watch the movie. And I was like, gotcha, you're stuck now. You have to watch it.
And he knew I was gonna drink it.
Yeah. But that's all my drink is. We could, be creative and make drinks for each character, which I like to do. But the problem with rom-coms and just slice of life stuff in general is even though these characters do have a lot of personality, there's not that much like uniqueness about them that I would make a drink based on them. Maybe make a drink for. So I guess we could do something like that. If we do, it'll only be for like the 4 main characters I actually ever care about. Kaguya, Miyuki, Fujiwara, and Ishigami. We might as well. I feel like Kaguya's would be also something sweet and
Strong.
strong, really?
Yeah, not like strong as in like, oh, let me give a shot. She's more of like on the inside it's like, I can't drink this, it's too strong, I want something sweet, but like she downs it anyways.
Oh, yeah. You're right. I think that too. But something that also would be deceptive. Like it looks maybe darker or not as sweet until you actually taste it.
Miyuki would definitely have some sort of like Irish coffee.
Yeah, it'll be
like Irish, like something for his sleep deprivedness.
Oh yeah, especially in this film.
Yeah.
But also something not boring, but something more straightforward. I think will work more for him.
Yeah, and then Chica.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Something definitely cute and probably
something
weird,
with cotton candy.
Just because of her hair color?
Yes.
Okay. But no, I mean, that works too. It fits her personality. But also, I feel like there needs to be something weird about it. A little extra, because that's just how she is. And then Ishigami, something also dark and...
I don't know.
Something that almost the opposite of Kaguya. Something that would seem weak, maybe a little dark. Just because going hair color again, and just how he looks almost emo. But you haven't seen seen every season.
Yeah.
But he is also like he was kind of a sportsy kind of. He's not emo. He just looks it, and he might be now. But yeah, something like that. Something that looks weak, maybe a little dark too, but could end up being strong and really good, really cool drink. Kind of vague. We didn't really get specific any, but I like the idea of it, especially like I said, rom-com, slice of life. They don't have that much personality like you would do with you have shonen characters. You know, these big fighty types where you're like, oh, you look at them and be like, you look like a drink. This is like you are a person I could serve a drink to.
This is why I stopped watching a lot of the rom-coms because everything kind of looks the same.
Yeah, they're all
and
just
then
each character
everybody's like has the
trope.
same personality. And this is why I didn't watch the first season, and I think there's 2 seasons or 3.
Mm-hmm.
3 seasons. So
3 seasons and then this.
Because originally I wasn't gonna watch it at first, but I was doing my nails and he had it on, and I was like,
"That's the easy." Listen here, everyone. The easiest trick to get someone to watch anime and really anything is not to try to convince them or beg them or do anything. The easiest way to get somebody to watch something is turn it on in their presence when they can't escape, and then
they have no choice.
Even if they're just around, it'll catch their attention. Yeah.
It's just something like you're doing something, so you need something else to like fill that empty like silence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which was originally I was just gonna do my nails for an hour, and then and he started the first episode, and not even 5 minutes in, it's like, okay, you gotta stop. I actually want to watch this whole thing.
Yeah, we actually it was about halfway through by the time but it was almost immediately. You're like, I can't see the screen.
I can't see the screen.
I was like, okay. But yeah, that's the alcohol portion. Pretty basic, I guess. I don't know. I feel like we should have more war-themed drinks, but oh well. This maybe less love against each other war in this film and more inner war about love. We'll get more into that when we talk about the film. Let's actually talk about informational a bit, be a little knowledgeable, as in I took notes before this, and I'm going to talk about stuff like when it came out. So it originally came out in Japan on December 17th, 2022, which is seems like an appropriate time for this film to come out, considering it's Christmas time, and that it happens in December, which is when it came out in Japan. However, it didn't come to the US until Valentine's Day. I'm pretty sure, well, I saw it only said 14th, but I'm pretty sure I remember It came out on the 13th and 14th in some theaters. I only remember this because we had plans on Valentine's Day where we went ice skating. Not relevant to this, but I remember the day before I had to go to a different city, about another hour or so drive, to watch this film on the 13th, and I planned on doing that. Then that's too far, and I was like, this is going to come out on Crunchyroll eventually anyways. I'll just wait. I didn't think it would come out too soon, because it did eventually come out on March 31st. And then we watched it like end of April. I remember this though because I did watch a film and record an episode of Alcoholandanime that day on the 13th instead, but it was Remember, a live action film about a horror film or whatever. So I did at least do something on that day. It wasn't this film though. I guess if it's not going to come out on Christmas, I guess Valentine's is a good backup. Or just wait another year and let it release. A lot of times the English releases do not make that much sense, which is something I think I mentioned quite a bit when I watch these movies. Just like the very first episode of Alcoholandanime, when I watched Fireworks, and that movie came out at the beginning of July for one day only instead of August 1st.
Wow. Which
is when the movie takes place. They couldn't wait a couple more weeks to just put it out the same day it takes place. Feel like that's the first episode of Alcoholandanime. If you have not watched the episode, go back and watch it. It was also my birthday.
Yep. I was just about to say he's just salty because it didn't come out on his birthday.
It did not come out on my birthday. I did start this podcast on my birthday though, just for that movie, because I am very narcissistic. Yeah, that's information stuff. Not too much else to go off about that. Besides, this is, I guess, the start of the 4th season. So, watching it on Crunchyroll, they split it up into 4 episodes, like 25 minutes each. Which, I don't know. If it's going to be a season, I guess that makes sense. I don't know why they didn't just wait till the rest of the season is out. Which I'm assuming it's also going to be the last season. From what I could tell, I try to look to see where this would be at in the manga. I feel like it's the last 4th or 5th when this would take place. So, 4 volumes of manga is a good place for a season, good length for a season. And I feel like it fit decently well with being episodes, except for the very end. Oh, spoiler alert, we're going to talk about this movie. Maybe some details.
Wow, surprise.
I remember. Surprise, but sometimes people can get away with not being too specific and can be vague about stuff and talk about it without actually saying what happens. I'm not one of those people. I'm going to talk about what happens. But at the end, there's a date scene, and it's really just a scene. Usually there'd be a whole episode on it, and it really seemed like the way they fast forward through it and all that stuff, just looking at stuff that happens, just like this is typical date episode. But then
they just wanted a normal date towards the end.
Yeah. But normally that'd be a whole episode. This was like the last 5 minutes or something.
Well, I mean, it is supposed to be a movie.
And it fit.
And it's already
it does
an hour
fit
and a
as a
half.
movie, but then it's like, yeah, but an hour and a half isn't long.
It's long for me. For people who get it, you get it. Attention, like my attention is like a goldfish.
I don't. It's 96 minutes.
That's too long for me.
Too long? That's why way too short.
That's why I don't go to movie theaters anymore. I don't watch movies because I can't sit still for that long.
Yeah. Movies should be at least 2 hours long. At least. But I wish they would have done something. I don't know exactly what happens in the rest of the manga, but I kind of wish they would have done something like they do with quintessential quintuplets, where that was over 2 hours. It was so long. It was like 2 hours, 15 minutes, if I remember correctly. So long. But it wrapped up the rest of the series. And I feel like they could have done something like this. Or they just end the series here. It's just awkward if they don't. It's like, where's it go from? Where they had a date. She asked him out, which is something.
Yeah, strong independent women.
Yeah. But I don't know. I guess that's it. I mean, there's going to be the rest of the season now. I guess they're going to have to try to be decently quick about it, depending on how many cours it has. If it's only one, they have to be quick, because that means they only have 8 episodes left. If it's 2, then yeah, I'm sure they have plenty of time. But I also haven't seen any news about a 4th season and when that would be, so I guess we'll still have to wait. Also, there's 2 live action films. Random thing to throw in there, but I'm looking at it right now. Don't know what those would be like. One is called Kaguya-sama Final. So you think that would be the end of it, but it came out
Never.
like a year before the manga actually ended, so I don't think it'll probably have a good ending. Just track record of things doing that.
Wow. Favorite / dislike scenes? Are we gonna do those?
Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're still just talking about. We can do it now since you brought it up.
Yeah. Like I said, my attention. They go wee.
You just like you're just thinking I'm boring and rambling on too much.
No.
Yeah, you are.
I just want to talk.
And you can talk, which is
my favorite scene.
Yeah, what was your
favorite
favorite
scene? It's my podcast now. No, I'm kidding.
Go for it.
My favorite scene was when she was in anguish, like towards the very beginning, and then she, not like that scene specifically, but
when she's in anguish.
No, like this is the backstory as to why. Well, I guess like there was one scene when he went back to school, you know, like the president and her was gonna talk after the makeout scene, I guess, and it was a rare Kaguya. Like the way they described her was like a collectible card, like a play card. It's like, oh, you got the rare Kaguya. She's like this chibi. It's like like a one brain cell kind of type. And then the one specific one I really like was when she was like, hey, you want some candy? Or was it like mini donut?
Yeah, mini donut.
So she was handing it out to everybody, to Chika, to the other dude, Ishigami, and then she got to the president, and she ran out, and then both Chika and Ishigami was just like, we'll be right back. Don't cry.
Oh, yeah, that was mainly what got you into it.
Yeah, that's what got me into, because...
Kaguya. And yeah, she was cute. Just like a little child. It just melted
my heart.
Oh.
But and then my other favorite is when the president also, like, was trying to talk to her. So he became, to, you know, their eyes, like, you know, one brain cell also. But, like, what's her name? The one that came in. Because they were trying to talk in their so-called chibi language. But
I think it was Ino.
Yeah, but one of the girls, I guess student council girls, came, like, opened the door, and then all she saw was just, like, this big, like what is going on?
Like, they look haunted, or,
yeah, they're summoning something.
Yeah, that was funny. Because you were asking us, like, why she look like that? And I was like, they're just, like...
Yeah, I
exaggerating how she actually feels.
Well, I mean, there's some animes, it's like, you literally get turned into, you know, smaller versions of yours. And granted, I didn't see the anime, so I didn't really know how... I mean,
they never do anything like that. So,
that's why I was like, what is going on?
That's why I was also surprised you watched it, because you didn't watch what happened beforehand. Which I think this movie does a decent job at, like...
You don't have to watch any before you watch this movie.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah.
It definitely helps.
Yeah.
But you also have been on a roll of doing stuff like that with... You did it
with Slime.
Slime and Demon Slayer. Why do you keep doing that?
I don't know.
I'm not going to complain because it means you watch stuff with me. But
it's mainly because I spoil everything. Like, I get antsy. I don't like waiting for... I don't do one episode a week. I binge. So, that's how I do it.
Yeah, I prefer one episode a week just because it gives me time to process and so that I don't sit around a lot and waste time binging. But also, you don't really binge that much. You don't watch that much stuff. Yeah, I guess so.
I used to, though, but for some reason, I just kind of stopped.
I will say, while I'm thinking about it before I forget, it's been a while, but finally watched one of these films in Japanese with subtitles. That's one of the benefits of not going to a movie theater. Ooh.
Besides not seeing people.
Oh, unfortunately, and I guess fortunately, when we go out into the theater and watch anime films, we're not really seeing many people anyways. there's been multiple times I went by myself and was the only one there at the very first time in the premiere of these films. I don't know, since this would came out in a theater in a larger city, there probably would have been plenty of people there. But if it would came in the theater here, probably not. It probably would have had no one. Maybe a few people. I'm sure there's some like little weebs or otaku couples out there that would have done this as like a Valentine's thing.
Except most of the people in here can't really afford the movie theater prices just because they're either in middle school or high school.
What are you talking about? There's adults.
Well, there's some adults here and there, but I feel
actually, no. You say that, but when I go to a lot of these things, when I do,
granted, I don't really go to a lot of them.
It is usually adults, people in our age range.
Or are they? Dun dun dun.
Or then if not, then they either look really good for their age and they're super old, or they look terrible for their age and they've been living a hellish childhood. Now, I'm pretty sure they're our age. Or both. I mean, it was great though when I wasn't living in Hawaii and going to these films. Then you really did just see everybody. You would see like a group of old women coming and watching these, and it was always, I don't know, cool to just see like old people going to anime films, because you don't really think of that too much. But no, we watched this in the comfort of our own home, starting in the office and then actually watching it on TV. So it was nice. But I guess I should say my favorite part. The beginning is definitely, I think, the best part. It's funny. It's over exaggerated. It's cute, I guess. I'm trying to think if there's anything else later that I really like.
The Christmas scene with Chica, like the actual celebration, just her weirdness.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the handcuffs.
Oh yeah, the handcuffs. Present. Yeah, the gift exchange was funny. Man, that's like near the very end though. Let's see. So there was two Christmas parties. We're not going to talk about the one Ishigami and went to for. I can't remember the name of the girl Ishigami likes. But yeah. So Fujiwara and her sister, Miyuki and his sister, and then Kaguya do a Christmas party. They're exchanging gifts. And I forgot about this, if it happens in the rest of the series, but I guess Fujiwara's little sister likes Miyuki, so it seems like they set up this game just so she could give him she's the one that gives him handcuffs? Right.
The sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just straight up handcuffs too.
Well, it's because he was so worried about, like the internal conflict about like love and his crush, and like, so there was other stuff in the middle.
Yeah,
as to why he only got something simple for like the exchange gift, but long story short, he got a simple handkerchief. And so like, while everybody has decent gifts, he's like, dear God, I hope somebody has a even worse gift than me. And then it got to him, and Chica's sister, like, it was the gift that she got, but it turned out to be handcuffs, and he was like celebrating. He's like, thank God. And I was like,
was he?
He was celebrating, like, thank God it was something weird and not just like, not overdone like everybody else. And in my perspective, it's like, that can go so wrong in many ways. Just, it's either celebrating because he got a handcuff, or
but why handcuffs?
He's celebrating.
They're just regular handcuffs too. They're not even like kinky handcuffs or anything. And then that's when there's a lot of running in this too. So
I say that was my least favorite.
The running? I mean, it made no sense. It was very actiony, but it's also over. It's over exaggerated.
So much. Well, yeah, but it's like,
yeah, there was.
They could have just done that running trope like one time.
Yeah, they did it twice. But the second time after the gift exchange because that was funny though, the end result.
Yeah.
Miyuki and Kaguya were going to exchange gifts with each other, or I guess they
Surprise
both
each other
expected to surprise, but Miyuki spent all of his time being sleepy and trying to do whatever that he didn't have time to get a proper gift, and he didn't want to give his to Kaguya. I forgot what did Kaguya give him.
Kaguya? I don't know. I forget.
Did it even show?
No, I don't think so.
It shows.
It's just something nice.
She
apparently.
she gave it to him, and then he refused to give her. So they do another little chase scene. End up in a park, and it ended up just being like a ball and cup thing.
Yeah.
That was it.
That was hilarious.
It was so random. And
Well, but then again, it's like towards the end, it's like it doesn't matter what he could have like given her. She just, she's so used to like extravagant stuff because she came from a decent family. So like something so simple, it's like that's very meaningful.
Random.
It's random, yes, but
and like he could have done anything else that would also been like cheap and simple.
If anything,
and,
she got another ribbon for her hair.
Oh yeah, she did. Yeah. So that was nice. And then there was all that mushy and gooey romance stuff that, whatever. It was boring. I like this series just because of
randomness,
the random and the silly and just the comedic part of it, and them just button heads. But there wasn't as much of that in this film. I mentioned it earlier. A lot of it was just like inner turmoil.
Not admitting or wanting the other person admit, but
well, that's the typical part.
Yeah.
But this time it was a lot more of like Kaguya had like a little trial
in her
head where it was like the little cute one, and then there's like an ice cold one, and then like an actual child one who was the judge, and then a third one.
Then more normal.
Yeah, the normal who I don't know, but yeah. So most of this is the ice cold one taking over, and going back to her like old self, which a little less funny, and it was pretty much just her trying to make Miyuki act like a man, kind of sexist, whatever, that man taking lead kind of thing. I think there was a character that pointed it out. I don't remember, and then at the very end she switches, and it's just like everything came full circle, I guess.
Yeah,
something like that. But my favorite, I guess, aside from the running part, which you said you didn't like that much, because what was they running for the first time?
The perfume.
Oh, the perfume, and that was the ice cold one. So she was trying
to smell good, but as some people don't know, perfumes, like when you put it on you, it changes to the person's, like, I guess, like sweat, but it kind of mixes into your own natural scent. So when you spray it on at first, it's like very strong and just, it hasn't mixed into your sweat glands. And so that's what she was trying to explain in the movie. So what was her name? Ino. But the reason why she was running away from the president was because Ino? Yeah. Ino was like, you smell like a aunt, or like when a typical aunt, like old lady smell,
middle age,
middle age, perfume, and so she's like, oh no, and so that's why she started.
And then Miyuki popped up just at that time.
Yeah, because it hasn't been 30 minutes, so it hasn't like mixed into her own scent.
So you had to put like a somewhat cool actiony chase scene in it for no reason really. All for him to still be like,
I guess the reason why I didn't
by the way, you smell good.
Yeah.
Don't know why. And she was like, oh.
The reason why I just don't like is this whole tsundere kind of deal.
Yeah.
With her like being icy, but also like, oh, notice me.
Well, that was the whole thing. Was like the ice cold one was the one that said she was the one that liked her first compared to all the other personalities. So, yeah, it is very tsundere. But then besides that, my other favorite part is when they're both like, Miyuki is trying to get advice from Kaguya's niece, a relative. I forget what her.
Oh yeah, because it was
name
funny
is.
How towards the end it's like, the girl is like, you sound like you're describing somebody familiar. Or like, how am I getting all of these right? Because no other girls would act the same.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, but Yeah. And then at the exact same time, Kaguya's getting advice from Kashiwagi, I think it was, because she's the one that has a boyfriend, and she does that a lot at the beginning, is getting advice from her, and the whole
Pretty
misunderstandings.
much.
There's a bunch of little jokes that get carried on that I really like, because I like when they give attention and stuff like that, because like Kaguya's relative, I think it's her niece. I don't remember. Let's look at names anyways. Um, me trying to find it. I'm not gonna look for it. But yeah, and then after that you see her because she once she realizes Miyuki's talking about Kaguya, she just like freaks out and like just starts roaming. And you see in like little cutscenes or whatever in between transitions, she's just like traveling the world now.
Yeah.
And it's like that's so random and dumb. And
she's
honestly,
questioning all of her life choices, having a midlife crisis. I get it.
Yep. Midlife crisis. She's in high school, I think. Something like that. High school and middle school.
I've changed my hair several times since.
And then the other part I really like, just one of those other background gags, was Kashiwagi's boyfriend, Tsubasa. That's what.
Oh, the son of the.
Yeah, he's the grandson of the doctor that
the quack
that Miyuki goes to because he sleep deprivation. He passes out at one point, which. That whole thing. This is a really funny movie. There's a lot of just gags. He's
like the very alpha male, and then his assistant is like the strong, independent woman. It's like, oh, you should just talk it, blah, 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 communicate. And then meanwhile, the doctor's like, be a man. I guess you can, stand up more, be the best you can be.
Yeah, and then he goes on talking about how, like, when he was 17, he, like, I guess knocked someone up.
Yeah, and then he's like
his son,
and then now his grandson.
And then he's like, and now his grandson's about to turn 17 and has a girlfriend. And, like, you just see it cut real quick to Kashiwagi, and it's just like, oh, it's him. And then the other thing is like the doctor diagnosing him with he's lovesick, like it's a real thing. It's like, actually, the more I talk about a movie, the dumber it seems to me. The more I talk about this movie, it's funny. There's a lot of gags in it. The only slow part is when she does become ice cold, and then it's like, okay, I guess there's romance stuff, and it's like, get back to the funny stuff.
Yeah, that was kind of me after a while. I got hooked on the funny stuff
at the very beginning. It's like they knew this is what's going to happen.
And then the middle part, I was like, and then just right when I was about to give up, they were like, here's another funny thing.
Yeah. And
I was like, all right.
And I think that's what they hooked, like the trailer and stuff. They hook people on, like, here's little itty bitty Kaguya. I mean,
that's just marketing.
Yeah. So if people wouldn't watch this, be like expecting cute little the whole time, and then that's really only the first episode. They may even like Ice Cold comes out at the very end of the first episode of the 4. So I guess first quarter of the movie. It was still funny, and I mean, even Ice Cold still had her comedic moments. And I'm trying to think. I guess that's my least favorite part. Is just the seriousness of some of it, and the fact that the very end, the date thing was just so rushed through. But I feel like it still should have been longer.
No, it's perfect. Mainly because my attention wouldn't have spanned that long.
Or even if this wasn't longer, I wish they wouldn't have turned it straight into just 4 episodes. I wish they would have like extended what happened. Like they could have turned this into at least like 6 episodes.
Oh no.
Yeah, because Ishigami has his whole arc, and they give it to him more in the 3rd season. But in this, like he has a budding romance, and they show it a little bit, but they're like, what was he doing the whole time at the party, and like and him and Ino has little things, and it's like, oh, there's a lot more to this.
Well, I feel like it's not gonna be like towards that movie specifically because it's mainly focused on
it makes sense, but why put it in?
Well, just as a
I just wanted more
foreshadow.
Yeah, and episodes later we'll have it, so that's fine. It'll make sense, but I do really like Ishigami as a character. I guess he's my favorite, and just that romance, if anything, I think is a more interesting kind of romance than the main one with Miyuki and Kaguya. The only thing that makes those two funny is the fact that they're warring with each other and trying to make each other admit who likes who and blah blah blah. But yeah, there still could have been more. It's only an hour and a half. There. Also, I want to know when the fourth season's going to actually come out. But let's see what else happened in it. Oh, before. I'm trying to remember exactly how the scene went when they were eating. Right before he passes out, and they're trying to get her to eat.
No, oh, she was trying.
That whole little gag.
So she's like, he was so sleep deprived that he even made like breakfast. The president, so he made like the typical like bento
with
the
every
weenie.
anime.
Yeah, like with the weenie octopus thing, tamago, and so Kaguya kind of wanted to try it. It's like, oh, he made it, blah blah blah, and so every time she's like, oh man, I'm so hungry, hinting towards him. He finally gets it and was about to, but then he got interrupted by like other students, and then it's like, here, have my food, and then Kaguya was like, well, meat's not good for you. Well, this is too sweet. Blah, blah.
Eggs too
and
sweet.
So
and then Fujiwara. Chika was the first one to get her feelings hurt and runs out.
And then the next
to go running because
she didn't want to be like a pig.
Yeah.
And then
Ino.
Dude, Ino. Oh well, the dude.
The dude runs after.
Yeah, after them.
Both of them later, but then Ino's like, also hears that and is like, you can try this too. I don't remember exactly what she says.
Yeah, but towards the end, it was more of like, it's finally the two of them, and then he was going for it, and then I guess the octopus weenie slipped, and so she your typical she licked his finger.
My finger's
instead.
in your mouth somehow.
And then she had I guess ketchup or some sauce on her cheek, and so she wanted him, or close to her corner of her lips, but she wanted him to.
But they made it look like blood.
Yeah,
I pointed that out when we watched.
So
that's weird.
Dude's nervous already, because the whole point of the ice Kaguya was for him to kiss her first instead of her kissing him first. But he passed out. Because he got too flustered.
Because all his blood went to the wrong head. And he passed out.
Well.
That's what it was. Yeah. So there was that bit. Any others bit I'm thinking of? I do wish I saw more what happened at the Christmas party with Ishigami, but oh well. There's that whole thing there. Because you even see what's her name? Whatever. Being I have till the 3 months or until the end of this school year to make a choice. And then you also see looking at that heart in the Lost and Found, 3 months and I can claim this, but why would you? And I was like, oh, that part's actually cute. But then that's it. And the rest of it doesn't matter. And let's go back to Kaguya. And I was like, yeah, she is the title character, so I guess that makes sense. Whatever. Don't really show his Miyuki's sister that much. Only at the Christmas thing. Ooh, Ai's there sometimes. She doesn't really do too much. Besides very beginning, she's trying to console or just calm down Kaguya, and she doesn't listen to her at all. Instead, she calls Kashiwagi just to make things misunderstood and all that stuff. But yeah, it's just full of good bits and gags and stuff. More than... the story was fine, I guess. The story itself. It was a lot more inner war than outer. I guess the outer war is just Kaguya trying to get Miyuki to kiss her, and like you said earlier, instead the other way around. But yeah. Oh, when he's walking her home. There was that.
Yeah, just the holding hand part. Oh, my hands are so cold, I want to hold hands, and then he just never got the...
Well, it's because she's not, of course, going around saying it. So she's just so cold with my hands, and then she's just waving her arm around, and he's just what does this mean? Well, just overthinking it way too much. And then he brings it back up later and it's like, by chance.
Did you, was that whole, like, charade for me to just hold your hand? And she's like, of course not. And so he's like, yeah, of course not. And I'm like, dude, you're so dumb.
I mean, that's anime, though. They're all dense and they never say things that could clarify everything up. And, I mean, that's just how these shows work. There's nothing else you can do. Okay, what else? We already asked what your least favorite thing was?
Yeah.
Just that running thing?
The running thing.
Was that it? I mean...
Yeah. That, like, just... I don't like beating around the bush, so every time they did that, it was just like, come on.
Yeah, but that's also typical, but...
Yeah.
What else are you going to expect? Oh, there was the phone call. No texting.
With the maid.
Yeah.
And then she was, like, putting a picture of the president over her head, and so she was, like, pretending to be him, but also, like, giving...
She was texting him at the same time.
Yeah, at the same time. So, and then it cuts to the president be like, wow, it's like... she's talking to me, or like something like that.
Yeah, it was like,
and it's like
these answers seem just like if Kaguya
just
was
like her,
asking,
and
like
it's
that.
like, but it is her.
Yeah. I guess that's about it though. For trying to think of any other gags, the court thing, me just looking for notes to talk. Tiny, I guess that was really just the highlight. Is the very beginning, Kaguya being tiny and cute and just funny.
I wish they brought it back again.
A lot of sexual stuff they did at the very end, but they for like Kaguya being like very small and childlike, of course they're all high schoolers, but very sexual in the things she kept saying, and that's weird.
What?
Yeah.
What?
You didn't notice? Just a lot of the times.
No.
Because there was like, referring to adult kiss and going on that, and then like being like what was like a super horny person or something like that. Her just going around kissing someone, and she's afraid he'll think she's like super horny. There was just a lot of like innuendo kind of stuff going on in it. But usually, especially when she was like the itty bitty kid, the chibi version of her, I was like, that's kind of weird. Yeah, because I took note on that. I was like, weird that they would do that. Oh well, I don't know. I guess that's just cute, I guess. But it was short, so there's not that much to talk about. We talked about what we liked and didn't like, right? Nothing else stands out. Yeah. I don't know. If you like the romance part of this, good for you. I don't think it was that strong in this film, but it was definitely funny and filled gags. So that's why I would recommend to people if you want to watch it. We already said you don't need to...
You don't need to watch the season.
have to watch the rest of it because you didn't. Yeah.
I mean, if you think, like, before watching this movie, that's why you're, like, paused, or, like, you don't want to watch it yet because you haven't watched the other seasons, you don't have to. You can literally just go in.
If you're going to watch the rest of the seasons, do that first.
Well,
but if you're like, I just want to see this movie for some reason without watching the rest of the series, you'll be fine. I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Because the rest of the seasons are really good and funny. There's a lot of cool stuff going on in it.
I guess. I just won't watch it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. That's you. It still makes me wonder why you watched this.
I don't even know. I think it was because of the chibi. I think it was because of that.
That's
I was
exactly
like, oh, that sweet baby. And then just like, stopped after that.
She seems so dumb.
I was kind of disappointed.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to actually just stop watching me. Never mind.
I was about to.
Yeah,
like
towards
like before you even clicked on the 4th episode, I was like, but there's only one more episode.
Yeah, I figured. Oh well. The only other thing besides what happens in the actual film is while on Crunchyroll website, while I was watching this before I switched to the app on our TV, I noticed at the bottom underneath the movie it shows like featured music. And I was like, oh, that's actually kind of neat because Crunchyroll puts music videos on their website now or app or whatever, which is random, but I guess it's something to do. It's cool. It makes sense. People love anime music and openings and stuff like that. Anyways, The two it showed, which I didn't watch either of them. I'm assuming we must have heard them at some point in the film. But one was Sentimental Crisis by Hauka, and the other was Heart Ha Oteage by Airi Suzuki. And I don't know either of those songs or music people are. So, but I thought I'll mention it just because it was the first time I've seen them do this. And, you know, it's neat. Little thing to include.
Yeah.
I don't know. But especially because, you know, people do like it. A lot of times people are like, oh, what is this opening? And they'll have to go looking for themselves. I'm assuming one of these might be the opening and one might be the ending. Even though we skip those each time. Because
Yeah, we watched the first episode. Both
Yeah.
I typically always skip the first and the last.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
Unless if it, like, absolutely catches me within the first few seconds.
Yeah. I'll watch
Like,
I watch
Demon
them for the
Slayer.
first episode. And I watch them for the last episode.
No.
But just because. But yeah, especially if you binge. And that also is the downside of this being episodes is, well, they put that on every episode. And this was supposed to be a movie. I don't know why they didn't just put it as a movie. If they're
For
going to do it
people
like
like
this.
me. For people like me.
Yeah, it makes it easier
Because
to
if you
stop.
see it, if you just look at it as like an hour and a half, it's like, I don't want to. But it's like, for some reason, it's an episode.
If
You're
you
like,
see
I can
it
binge
as-
this.
If you see it as 4 25-minute
Yeah,
increments,
it's
even
different.
but that's even longer.
Oh, yeah, but for people who know, you know. You know?
I think, what did I say? It was like 96 minutes. That's a whole 4 extra minutes.
Doesn't matter. It's an episode. 4 episodes.
Yeah, I don't know. That's fine.
It's the mental part of it. It's like,
4
I'd rather do
episodes instead
episodes
of-
than movies. But yet I watch like
I mean,
hour
I
and a
would
half
also
episodes.
prefer episodes over movies, but when it's a movie originally,
No. I like the power it gives me. It's like, I could stop in the middle, but I'm not going to do that.
yeah,
But I
you
could
just
stop.
pause a movie.
But not
Also,
going to do that.
that's crazy too. I don't know why anybody would pause a movie and then just not finish it, or pause an episode and just go off and do stuff like that. Like, an episode's only 20 minutes. I don't know. That's just me being picky. When I sit down to watch a movie, I'm sitting down for like the experience of watching the movie. That's why I don't know why you bother watching movies and stuff. You're like, I just want this to be over as quick as possible.
I don't bother because I want it to
Well,
be
I know.
quick as
I'm
well.
talking more in general, not you. But I see people that are like that, and it's like, oh, this is too long. It's like, why do you want to go this just for it to be over as soon as possible? That makes no sense to me. I'm going to go and do this because I want it to spend my time enjoying this. Most people just want to go and say they did something, get it done with, and not actually go and enjoy it as it is. I don't know,
It's
it's a
called
weird thing.
being an introvert and not just really
No, that's not
wanting
even
to
an
do
introvert.
anything.
That's just...
We just don't want to do anything. We just want to go and... But then your friends invite you and it's like,
Well, you don't want to go out with people to do things. That's what introvert more is. This is...
not all, but I mean, in general.
But then people go and binge watch an entire season. It's
At
like,
the comfort of your own home.
well, I'm just talking about movies in general. You can still watch movies at your home too, and people still complain about it.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. That's just me griping. I'm pretty sure I gripe about almost every movie I do something on is I say it's too short. So that's just me. Anyways, also just me is just rambling about random things. So drinks. We did some random drinks where more for serving the characters instead of making a drink based off the character. And then we did movie, talking about our best and favorite parts, stuff I guess we pretty much, in talking about what we didn't like, we talked about what could have been done better.
Yeah.
And then just other random things. It's funny, more the romantic, more the calm instead of the wrong, blah, blah, blah. And then I rambled a bit, of course, like usual. So I guess that's going to be it. I'm looking forward to the 4th season. I'll definitely watch it. I'm assuming you're not going to watch it. Okay. So, yeah, that is it for me talking about Kaguya-sama, Love is War, the first kiss that never ends. Uh, if you want to find me more to talk about this some other place, you can do that on my social medias, the AC Stories. You can email me at theacstories@gmail.com. I also have a Discord, a few people on there. You can join that group. Links to all that would be in the description of where you're listening to this at. And if you're on some kind of platform where you can like it or heart it, whatever, do that. Sure, do it. If you can also subscribe or follow to it, do that too. If you want to rate it, hopefully a good rating. If you want to do that, do it. Your choice. It's whatever. I just like making these, and I hope you like listening to them. But that's going to be all from me before I find some other random thing to start rambling about. So, until next time, I'm the AC.
This is Ayessa.
Bye.
Bye.